The sleeve cuff is made without an overlap, meaning the short sides of the cuff align with the edges of the sleeve vent. Interface the inside of one cuff piece. Place the cuff with the interfacing right sides together with the sleeve. Sew one long side together and press. Now sew the other piece of the sleeve cuff on, long sides together. Now sew the other piece of the sleeve cuff on. Do the two short sides and the long side. Leave the seam allowance open or better stop before the seam allowance would be sewn together. For turning, we want to show you a little tip that you can do if you plan on top stitching later. You will fold the edges in a little rectangle, and while holding them, turn the whole piece out. This way you'll have a much stronger corner without clipping. Use a needle or wooden tool to really pull out the corner. Iron everything well.
Sieht schön aus.
Now fold in the seam allowance of the inner cuff piece and baste everything in place. Top stitch from the outside in the original seam ditch. Use a straight stitch to top stitch around the whole sleeve cuff. For a more elegant end result, do not secure the threads with back stitches, but rather knot the threads of beginning and end. Remove all basting threads. Now let's insert the sleeves. Use a very large straight stitch and gather the sleeve cap without securing the threads. The sleeve will lay in better with this to round the shape, even if you don't need to really pull the thread and gather. Place the sleeves right sides together with the armholes of the bodice. Stitch, noting the seam allowance is only 1 centimeter, so the sleeve cap seam allowance will extend 0.5 centimeters beyond. That is really important. Now fold the longer seam allowance over and iron. Fold the seam allowance in and invisibly stitch by hand.